The effectiveness of the African Union and its Peace and Security Council has never been as a strategic imperative as in this time, when Africa is going through the entrenchment of a new era of insecurity. Yet, our publication that reviews the 2025 activities of the AU and its Peace and Security Council warns that the AU and the Peace and Security Council are floating adrift. These two dynamics reinforce each other, leaving Africa more vulnerable. This is Amani Africa Dispatch, our videocast on current political, governance, and peace and security affairs of continental and multilateral policy importance. In terms of the trend signifying the entrenching new era of insecurity, some stand out. The first of this involves the escalation and expansion of conflicts. In Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the M23 rebellion rapidly transformed the security landscape. Within weeks of launching a major offensive, it captured strategic towns and eventually seized Goma, a major regional hub. Despite mediation efforts that slowed advances mid-year, fighting resumed later, expanding territorial control across large parts of the Kivu provinces. A similar pattern unfolded in Sudan, where the civil war intensified and spread geographically. Fighting shifted from Khartoum into Darfur and Kordofan. South Sudan witnessed the eruption of hostilities between the signatories to the 2018 revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in South Sudan. With the peace agreement unraveling, the country entered a dangerous phase of relapsing back to full-scale conflict. It's not simply that conflicts are escalating and expanding. They're becoming longer, more complex, and increasingly difficult to contain. As violence escalated, the human cost rose dramatically, another feature of crystallizing new era of insecurity. Mass displacement surged. Famine conditions worsened in several regions, and humanitarian access remained severely restricted. The scale of suffering revealed a widening gap between growing needs and shrinking international support, turning many conflicts into protracted humanitarian catastrophes. Sudan is now labeled as the world's largest hunger, protection, and displacement crisis. During the year, in the DRC, the intensified conflict has led to over 2.1 million new displacements, including nearly 1 million children, making it one of the largest surges in humanitarian needs. Another major trend shaping the crystallization of the new era of insecurity is the deepening tensions between states. Accelerating state fragmentation and entrenchment of non-state armed groups constitute another notable trend. In several conflict zones, including Sudan, the Sahel, Somalia, and the DRC, non-state armed groups entrenched themselves by establishing parallel governance structures, controlling resources, and sustaining war economies. In the case of Sudan, this culminated in its de facto partition, as global and regional powers provided military support and competed over the direction of peace processes. Many conflicts became more international, placing their outcomes beyond the control of the affected countries. "2025 witnessed the emergence to prominence of drones as weapons of choice in various conflict settings that transformed the nature of warfare. The ease of access to and affordability of drones, once limited to advanced militaries, enabled both state and non-state actors to conduct precise and increasingly lethal attacks. This shift has amplified both the intensity of violence and the risks faced by civilians. Alongside these security challenges, Africa's democratic trajectory continued to deteriorate, punctured by fraudulent elections, military takeover, and increasing protests. the African Union and its Peace and Security Council struggled to translate decisions into effective action, while regional organizations faced internal divisions and withdrawals. To make matters worse, the multilateral system is rupturing, and in its place, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. Instead of stepping up, the AU and its Peace and Security Council operate in a loop of performative ritual, unable to exert the level of effort and deploy the type of collective action required to materially contribute towards changing the course of conflicts and crises, towards mitigation and resolution. The role of the AU and the Peace and Security Council waned. In the context of changing geopolitics of the world, during 2025, AU's warning role exposed it to be ignored, sidestepped, and even displaced in many of the conflict settings, including Sahel, Sudan, and the DRC. Both the peace and security conditions and the AU's diminishing agency can be reversed. Africa stands a chance to arrest the downward spiral and confront related common challenges such as climate only within the collective framework of a reinvigorated African Union. Realizing AU's reinvigoration is above all a leadership and political commitment challenge. So, what must be done? Our publication provides key recommendations. 1. The AU and its member states must treat the current security situation as a state of emergency. To this end, establish a crisis coordination mechanism in the form of an emergency situation room commanded by the AU Commission Chairperson to develop and deploy effective emergency measures focusing on the most pressing conflicts. 2. Renew Pan-Africanism as a political and strategic framework for collective action for peace and security, including through catalyzing wider public support for the AU to operate as a shield for Africa's interests, restoring collective commitment, strengthening continental solidarity, and enhancing political ownership. 3. Rebuild the AU's agency through credible peacemaking process and the restoration of the centrality of diplomacy for peace, prioritizing the primacy of politics with particular attention to the elaboration of compelling political strategies for the management and resolution of conflicts, ensuring the mobilization of strong political consensus and support, and the crafting and projection of principled, impartial, and sustained AU engagement. 4. At the institutional level, the Peace and Security Council must focus its agenda on active conflicts, strengthen criteria-based membership, ensure effective follow-through on its decisions, and it should adopt a moratorium on thematic issues. 5. Africa needs a common foreign policy framework to navigate an increasingly multipolar global order and to strengthen its collective bargaining power. 6. The African Union should commission a new strategic report focused on closing the gap between policy commitments and implementation. 7. Africa must develop a clear strategy for managing relations with middle powers whose growing influence is shaping the continent's conflict. None of the common challenges facing Africa, not least of all peace and security, that demand collective action, stand a chance of being addressed without the African Union. With moral courage, political commitment, and reinvigoration of the factors for the African Union's success in peace and security, the African Union and the Peace and Security Council can reverse the loss of agency and once again become a force for good in Africa and globally. This is Amani Africa Dispatch.